What's up, guys? So after putting a lot more hours into this here, I'm able to develop this map quite a bit more from last time. First time was working on white boxing. Some things aren't quite built out as much as I want it to be. I'm still working on that, but we're going to be calling this Milestone 2 here. Just has a little bit more polish to the shape and general direction that I'm trying to go with the level. I've got some my colleagues to be able to playtest this too, give some really good feedback. I'll share a few of those points in this video, but I'll make another video just kind of talking about a lot of the playtest things that I'll be working on, so stay tuned for that. As always, feel free to ask anything in the comments below or things that you would like to see added to this. I'm always looking to learn more and push myself to be a better developer as a whole. But I've added a lot of different more mountains here, kind of stacked, replicated it, growing it out, trying to manipulate it so it has a more interesting shape. And then I've started getting rid of a lot more of the walls as I've started filling things out. So I got rid of also having a whole bunch of the different grids and just made it one big grid to have a flat surface to work on, so it wasn't super uneven. Just the tiling itself was being an issue. I don't really like how it looks like just one big tile. You can see the repetition in it. Not my favorite, but again, Halo Forge just seems to be very rigid in the way you model things, and you have to get super creative, just following what the community does to really get a good feel for terrain manipulation. So you can see right here, I've already started doing this. This first part right here just looks a lot better. It looks more natural in its own way. Like, it's added, you still have like your obvious path of don't really go on this side, but it's not just this huge wall completely blocking you off. You can still see over it. And then you have rock with some dead trees dividing that'll kind of still spread out a little bit more, but have it done on this side too, so it's not just randomly only in this spot for whatever reason. And one of the things I'll be working on better too is just making sure the AI is placed in the right spot and blocking these things off. I know last time I talked about having like a bridge or something that blocks you. Instead, some of the feedback I received, I'm just going to be placing rocks to block off these parts of the areas. So realistically, the only thing that makes sense is to go off and over here. I'm gonna get rid of this guy real because I know that's going to be an issue. I'm going to show you guys in a bit. And then looking at this area too, it's pretty small. So I'm thinking I'm going to make it a lot higher and a lot more verticality around in this spot to get where I need to be, just so it's more enjoyable. Sets you kind of up for the big spot. And then I'll have more mountains covering this section and trees. A nice little blend, so it's just not just this huge awkward opening. So probably the building will take up about this space, and then over here we'll have like a lot more trees. But kind of excited with how the water's starting to turn out with the energy sword. I think this right hand part looks a little derpy, so I'll need to adjust that, but it had some fun just getting the overall look for this setup here. Definitely some changes I need to make. As you can see, this guy is kind of above, looks a little bit funny. There we go, that looks better already. But yeah, so I'll need to outline the water, and then I'll have the terrain covering over this part, so it looks more naturally encased than just this big block of, oh, they just slopped water on it, which is what it looks like right now. The second critical path though that I have, I made it, it's still really flat right now obviously, but I made it a lot more enjoyable to go through, where it seems like a second path they can obviously drive through, rather than just, oh, there's this random opening on the right hand side. So when you go through here, you got your two sections that you'll be able to take a look at, and then the secondary mini battle that you need to get into here and unlock this part, that they'll have the key upon death. This part's still a work in progress. I have the top layers open so I can just see into it a little bit more, make sure that it's not feeling too cramped, but it's also not way too big. This top part here, we're going to have a little bit more some shape to it so you can see it, and then there will be a door that will be scripted to open and close. Added a lot more coverage to the sides. You can see what's going on here. I got this texture on the wall that I'm looking to replicate to the other sides, but making sure it's not too repetitive. You know, it just looks a lot better than this flatness. And some of the feedback I was receiving on these pillars, just like some of these parts right here, didn't quite make sense, specifically with the stairs being right here, because once you walk in, you like see the stairs and you go, oh, forget everything that's right here, I'm just gonna go up the stairs. Totally makes sense. So instead we're gonna flip the stairs into like the back part of the room, so you have to at least come back here and get exposure to the enemies, and then some of the, you know, cover will make a lot more sense here. Saying that as well, this section right here, as well as kind of like this area a little bit, the other feedback I received is to have just a lot more cover. Make it so they always have something to really be able to hide behind besides just the vehicle that they're given. So it just feels that even though there may be a lot more enemies, you're not having to deal just with one play style. It caters a little bit more to a run and gun or hide. It gives a little bit more flexibility in that. But basically, you'll come through here, get to the second store. Once you clear out all the enemies, then you'll be able to take the teleporter and get to the final boss. So let's just do a quick playthrough here, see how that goes. Yeah, this part just feels so much better. Being able to go through the terrain up and down. You got these guys just randomly placed. Oh man, almost died. So close to death. We'll just restart that. It's funny, they don't always pull out the grenade, but man, when they do, they mess you up. Alright, this guy's gonna launch me.
Get on the ground, you worm!
Yeah, there's only really cover that's here, but not because the cover's supposed to be. So it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. You can hear the brute that's right there. I think it'll still be nice to be able to kind of go under part of the building, but... Over that. Oh yeah, the other feedback I received is when this happens, have like a respawn for the vehicle, or update the respawn upon a certain checkpoint, because yeah, walking through all this again, woof, that's gonna feel really, really bad. Let's just kind of go back, skip the first part of it. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so that gravity is a bit much. That's one of the other things that we're gonna need to update there, because wow, that is quite the launcher. All right, we'll give it one more go, and then I'll show you guys the second part. So we'll just, for now, we'll take the second road. Just kind of see what that feels like going through here. One of the other cool things I'm thinking about doing is adding a little bit more mountains as well, because you can see this looks like a path that you can go through, so I can kind of stretch it out and make it look like it works. You can still have some gravity things that you get pushed in. But this will be a lot more unique vertically, just going up and down and all over the place, but still look like a path. But yeah, it's pretty flat, so I'll need to add more AI to cover that part. Unfortunately, there is a cap of the amount of AI that you can have spawn, so I'll need to be careful with where it's positioned specifically and create some trigger points where, like, if this person passes through this area, spawn these AI, just so I'm not meeting the max depending on where they go or not. I'll need to create a weapon vehicle blocker here as well, so they can't just like take the car and they're up the stairs. They'll open the door, and then let's just say the stairs are in the back, so I don't see the stairs. I'm like, okay, let's go check over here. Hello. And then, okay, wow, here's the stairs. Here we go. And then boom, the boss. So with my current weapons, there's no way I'm gonna be able to defeat this guy. I mean, he's just way too tanky. Like, I'll be able to get his shield down, and then I'll be able to maybe a sliver of his health. I wish you could steal their weapons. Oh my gosh, I didn't even see him hit me from that distance. But yeah, that's what we're looking at here. So just kind of recap real quick. I'm excited to add a lot more terrain from the flat part as the base, just to create a lot more variation, make it more interesting, specifically on this side, kind of having it as if you're traversing through the mountains to get there, and then have like a little tunnel that you have to go through in this spot to get to where you want to be. And then this part, making it more visibly blocked off, so they have to go through here, making sure the gravity pad slider is tuned correctly so it doesn't just launch you like crazy to the other side, but still feels rewarding for going over, especially if you land on it properly, but being a little bit forgiving as well. If you like fall a little bit short, you know, there's still, you're not going to die if you just hit the water, but you also can't really go anywhere else, so you just go up and over. Then you'll come over here, you'll have your battle, you'll fight. I think I'll make it the guy you need to go to, make him like up a little bit higher and to the left, just so you have to really traverse through it and kind of look around. Maybe have it where you have to open like a door in here to open a door up there to access that, and a mission objective at the very beginning showing you and saying on your left hand of the screen going, hey, this is what you need to do. So when the player jumps in, they know immediately, this is my objective, my general goal. And so they're going to go through that. If the player decides to go on the right hand side though, then have it set up like once player passes this mesh bound, update mission objective to like go to this area, and they have to kill 2 hunters instead in order to get the key needed. So this one, you know, a lot more enemies, but it's not as hard as taking out 2 hunters. So if you have a lot of skill and you get like the right ammo types from hunters, you can take them out. It may look easier, but it's not as easy. And then this guy, it may look harder, but technically it's a lot easier to beat. So kind of a twist in that way. Yeah, thanks for watching though.